I worked at a McDonald's. I worked at a CD warehouse. But they paid the bills and they made life manageable.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chica Travel Podcast. Today's guest is someone that I've admired for quite a long time. So, Azania, you and I have a bit of a history. About more than 10 years ago, in 2013, I actually hosted a love conference. It's a crazy idea, a love conference. And I invited her to be a keynote speaker. She never judged me. She never asked me a lot of questions or put me through hoops. She said yes. And now more than a decade later, she has said yes again. So when I look at Azania, I see someone who moves through the world with depth, with elegance. Whether she's on a global stage as an MC, whether she's on a beach in a bikini, she just inhabits a space with so much elegance and with intention. So thank you so much for saying yes to my podcast.
Oh, Lilo, thank you. It's lovely to be here and congratulations on the podcast.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to be talking to you about something that we both love dearly, which is travel. And I want to start the conversation by asking you, when did your relationship with travel start?
You're taking me back. It was, I think, just watching TV as a young person. For me, TV was a huge educator, whether it was language, learning words, expanding your vocabulary or whatever, like just discovering the world. Radio and television did that for me. And then I had an opportunity at the end of my matric year. I won this competition. Don't ask what the competition was. But I won this competition and finished my matric year. And what waited at the end in December was a trip to Paris and London. And I just couldn't believe my luck. So I traveled with the...
And that was your first trip?
That was my first overseas trip. But my first trip, I would say, was from Johannesburg to Durban with my dad. My father used to take us for... like holidays, we'd all be packed in that Cressida with my brother and sisters, my sister and brothers, I should say, and then my cousins as well, just be packed as kids and do all the bus stops along the way and just go on holiday and go by the sea, So those were my early travels. And then that overseas travel to Paris and London was just like, oh my gosh, couldn't believe
What a way to start your life. So how was that experience like?
It was amazing. I mean, it was daunting and refreshing at the same time because we were a bunch of young people, many of us having that overseas experience for the first time. I'd written my matric, so I didn't know what my results were. I remember being in a phone booth in France, in Paris, with my mom in a phone booth because this was pre-cell phone time. And I was on the phone with my family, and they were telling me my results because obviously we were waiting for the newspaper to announce the matric passes, and that was just great. We flew on Christmas Day. We had this exploration of Paris in our own little modest, meager way because we didn't have a lot of pocket money. We stayed in a hotel that was not what I now know, on the outskirts of town, in the more affordable parts of town. And then on the 31st, while everybody was getting ready to party, we flew to London. So obviously they had thought it out. They took the cheaper flights because flying on Christmas and on the 31st is way cheaper. But it was incredible. And I remember deciding about London because, English speaking, the connection, the colonizer and, that history with South Africa that I want to go back there. So Paris was fantastic, loved it. But because of the language barrier,
it was
I thought if I want, and lots of kids at the time were doing these gap years, when I was in high school. So some people were like, I'm going to take a gap year. And it's not something that we do as the Black community, So I thought if I get an opportunity, that's what I want to do. Spend some time in London. And that's what I did after I got back. The bug had bitten like really hard.
So you then went back?
I went back because when I got back home, I went to Wits and then I started doing this TV show. And you know what it's like. You
get sucked in.
You get sucked into the world of work and having your own pocket money. And at the time, you don't have responsibilities and a paycheck from doing a season or 2 or 3 of a TV show. I had that money in my back pocket and I was like, I had to talk to my family like, I want to go do this. I want to go to London. And my mom was like, oh, Asa. What are you going to go do there? Why? So yeah, I was that kid. She still says that today. She still says that.
You are that one.
Yeah, I'm that one.
Yeah.
That comes with these things that she doesn't know how to respond to. But she said, okay, fine, go. So I went to London and I roughed it for 3 years, and it was amazing. It was really amazing.
Wow. So would you count? So it wasn't a holiday really then?
That second one wasn't. Oh, you mean the one with Paris?
I mean when you went back now for 3 years. So now you're now going there.
It was not a holiday. It was almost like slumming it.
Yes.
You know, I had an appreciation for immigrants during those 3 years because you could see what it takes to make a life in a different country, in a country that's not your own. You know, it's a constant hustle. It's just looking for opportunities. Your eyes just become attuned to opportunities in a different way than if you were at home, you know? So that was really different. And I think I grew up a lot in that time because there's no fallback. There's no mom to call and say, I'm out of money, or it wasn't that kind of trip. You know, it's like you had to then get a job. When I arrived there, I was living in a hostel, which I would never do
again.
Graduated from there, luckily, but did the whole hostel thing, then moved into an apartment, and just worked, you know, and it wasn't easy because you're doing menial jobs, hotel receptionist. You know, I worked at a McDonald's. I worked at a CD warehouse, but they paid the bills and they made life manageable there, you know, and made the summers amazing, which is what I loved. It made the summers really amazing.
And would you say that experience gave you what you were looking for when you decided I'm gonna go to London? Besides the struggles.
The first time I went with the cheerleaders, you know, I thought I had a different idea of what it would be like. You think that you'll get there and the city will just open its arms and you would have unlocked the biggest success. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not like that. When you get there, it's literally just clawing, working, and it's not romantic. My eyes were open that when you do that, it's not a romanticized idea of moving to another country, you know. But it was good. That's how I was describing it as something that grew me a lot, because then you learn to be independent, you learn to take care of yourself, you learn to manage your money, you learn so many things, friends, just your own limitations and how to push yourself at the same time.
You were lucky because then your parents trusted you enough to let you go.
It was frustrating.
All the way.
They were frustrated, to be honest, because I'm my mom's youngest, right? So it was like stressful.
Last born.
80 last born.
So now, when you moved to now holidaying and traveling, you know, outside of the country, etc. When was the first holiday that you decided, okay, I'm going on holiday to this place?
Gosh, I think that was way later. That's when I had my kids and I decided to expose, because work took me to a lot of different places. So I got to travel a lot with work. But then the holidays with kids was Cape Town, Durban. I remember when my daughter was like, I think she must have been 2.5 or 3. We went on a holiday, just the two of us, to Durban. And I mean, that child was waking me every day to go to the ocean. Like, that's what she wanted to do. Forget breakfast, forget everything else. I don't want to wash. I just want to go to the beach, you know. But we had a little holiday together. Still cherish the memories when I look at the photos. It was just great. I felt I was a young mom. And this was like just a treat for the two of us, just the two of us, without my mom, her grandmother, my sister and her kid, you know, like without everybody, just us. Just guys, we flew and it was sweet. So that would be the first one. And then when my son came along, I wanted to be more deliberate about my kids experiencing the African continent. So I said to them, overseas, early. You will do later, maybe on your own budget or whatever, but on my budget, I want you to experience the continent. And I know at first they were like, why can't we go to London? Why can't I go to New York? Why can't we go to, you know? But I was very clear. And luckily, my sister and I shared that view. So we started doing these trips with our kids, my sister and I and our kids. And that was really great. I mean, when I think of our holiday in Namibia, I'm an oyster lover. I'm salivating now just thinking about how gluttonous it was just being there and devouring oysters, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. the glass of bubbly on the side.
The oyster camo. Yeah.
So Namibia was fantastic with the family, and then went on to go to other places as well, Mozambique to just experience that.
Tell me why that was important for you, for the kids to be exposed more to the continent than anywhere else.
I thought that we have a very Western-facing culture. We think that the West has so much to offer, and we ignore what's literally under our noses, not just in our own backyard in the country, exploring the country, but just across the border. And we have a lot of wealth and a lot of heritage and history to unearth, just to understand each other and ourselves as Africans. I thought it was important. We have a past in South Africa where we were so insulated because of apartheid, so that was kind of to force, at least be the change that you want to see in others, that you implemented yourself. And I wanted my kids to have that perspective, like a good perspective of what it is to be part of this continent, and not to have this aspiration to go overseas. Outside, to go outside. And I liked when my son came back after those holidays way later, and he got to be in the US for a year. And when he came back, he was like, I don't get the fuss. I don't get the fuss about the US, that is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he was just had a different appreciation, like more grounded appreciation about what we have here.
Yeah. So you did plant a seed.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
Yeah. The first time the passport got stamped for them was on an African country.
Oh, that's amazing. And what's the last African country you went to?
That would be, as in more recently, Morocco. The last time I was
still on my to-do list.
Morocco.
Did you have to fly to Europe?
Yes. And then had to fly to Dubai and then connect to Casablanca. Yeah. And some of the other flights had to go to Europe and then to Marrakesh. But that's the route we chose. Yeah.
And Morocco, yes, no?
It's been on my bucket list forever. And I blame, is it Sounds of Blackness or Incognito? The music lovers will remind me. But they had that song, Streets of Marrakesh.
Okay, so that was what...
Forever. So forever, it was just in my mind as a dream destination.
Yeah.
A myth about the place was just created. Whether it's the film productions that have happened there, you always hear about how great a film destination it is. Yeah. And then that song, I just had to. And then I had dated a Moroccan at some stage, and it was like, oh, these passionate people. Let me go and see what it's about. Yeah.
So what did you enjoy the most about being in Morocco? Then where you went to Marrakesh and?
Casablanca.
And Casablanca. Yeah.
That's a thing about that, is that you build a perception and then the place surprises you. So I had this idea of Marrakesh, that it was just going to be this incredible experience, but I ended up falling more in love with Casablanca. Not to say anything, Marrakesh is great with the souks. The markets are really great. The things that you can buy, they're like rugs and these beautiful tapestries and fabrics. And so Marrakesh is great. The Atlas Mountains, went on a day trip to the Atlas Mountains. So there's a lot to discover there. But I thought Casablanca had this, when you go to a place, you're like, I could do more of this.
Yes. I feel like I belong. It's speaking my language.
Something about it was, just calling, and felt so good. Like there's a nice level of sophistication, luxury,
totally your vibe.
Yeah. The London roughing it days way behind me.
No, we are past those days.
Way past them. So it was great.
Yeah. So have you ever, when I watch you, I feel like you just move with ease, So have you ever went to a place with all of your travels and felt like, I feel so out of place in this space?
Oh my gosh. I think it would have to be Europe.
Really?
Not generally all of it, but I would say a trip to Munich. I went there to watch Adele with girlfriends. And, we ended up staying in a little town close to Munich. And you just felt so like a sore thumb, out of
like
place.
You stick out.
Yeah, like you stick out, the eyes on you, and I think we literally, when we saw a pair of black guys, it felt like, oh my God,
we are safe.
And they were also there in town for the show, and it felt like meeting friends, or we kind of had this long dinner afterwards. But that feeling of being of standing out, of just really sticking out, and you can feel the eyes everywhere. And even going to the concert, it was very multicultural, but you still have that, sense. Yeah.
So for someone who's, sorry, I interrupted you.
Sorry. And I think London, I remember being in London and in a particular neighborhood and feeling unsafe there as well. You know, when you're walking down the street and you encounter a pair of eyes that you feel are very hostile, an expression that is hostile to you. And it was a young man who had this hatred, just like like in his eyes, you know, and you have to put on this just kind of this attitude of not being affected, but when you walk away you still you feel affected. So,
and also because you're away from, you know, what you know, you're in a foreign space and you don't know what brings us up.
But you know, I think there's just racism in the world. There are people who are not going to want you in those spaces. And sometimes it can fuel an even bigger determination. I
was actually going to ask now, do you choose where to go based on you know, what they say about people in that country, whether they say there's racism there and therefore I'm not going to go, or you go where you want to go?
I go where I want to go. It's going to be your problem. It's going to have to be your problem, but without obviously taking unnecessary risks.
Of course.
You know, because some spaces can be dangerous. Yeah.
So now, fast forward to now, you know, roughing it up. When you choose where to travel to, how do you make that decision? I'm sure you've got a long list of places. Maybe you tell us about it. How do you choose?
I have a long list. Who doesn't have a bucket list? I mean, travel lovers have to have a bucket list.
But can I tell you, I struggle with bucket lists. I will have like 1 or 2 places that I want to do, and then I'll figure out the rest after, and then I'll have another list after that. So if generally a long list, then I struggle with deciding where to go.
Yeah.
And when I struggle with deciding where to go, I just defaulting to, let me just go back to Italy.
It's terrible. Like, how many times have you been there?
Yeah, I think more than 10 times.
Oh my God. Isn't it great?
You know what I like? It's just walking into this space and feeling familiarity. Like it's so familiar. Like I know where this is. I love that feeling. I think that's probably that. But anyway, back to you.
No, I also loved Italy.
Yeah.
It's some of my
you
best...
went recently.
Yeah. So some of my best memories just from the last couple of years was that trip.
Yeah.
So I can understand your affinity
my
to
obsession.
It. Yeah.
Affinity. I must stop saying obsession. I'll get my affinity to Italy. So how do you decide where to go?
I do have a list, but I find that the places that I end up going to end up being like surprise places, like let's go there, and the list kind of just stays stagnant, which maybe there's something to what you're saying, you know, because it's like maybe having a crush that when you experience the crush, it's like, why? It's a disappointment. So be open to constantly being surprised, perhaps. But I have a list and when some of the places that I go to, like, you know, Morocco was always on my list. I got to kind of cross it off. But I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to South Korea. I want to go to New Zealand. So what I look for, I think, I love nature. Okay. So I want to always experience a little bit of that outdoorsy, go out there. Like with Morocco, it was cold, but had to make a day to go to the Atlas Mountains and just be in the snow-capped parts and be there where the snow was. And what I also look for, and the older that I get, is to embrace my nerdiness. I'm one of those people who, when I'm traveling, I have to get out. Okay. I can't be just, we're going to sit poolside and drink cocktails
on the beach. No,
I want to get out there with people, mix it up, tour, be part of those tours. I don't know, some people think it's...
I love doing tours.
I love that.
Yeah, because you get to see a whole lot more and you
learn so much, discover so much more. Yeah. So I'm not above all sorts of things.
No, I definitely do those as well.
And mixing and just being among. So that's really what I like. I love museums. I love galleries. So the history parts, the educational bits, the exploratory parts, that's what I look for.
So would you see, just mentioning education, travel as some form of education, would you say? Yeah.
I think so. Because that's why for me it started with television. And I've always nurtured curiosity, or curiosity is a value for me, and a desire to grow and just be knowledgeable, as things to always be consistent in, to protect and to guard and to chase, you know? So that's what I look for. Yeah. Places that can continue to feed that curiosity and knowledge.
I love it. So what I wanted to also ask is, when you think about traveling now, what is it for you? What is travel for you? Is it like something you reward yourself with, or is it like, no, just something I do if I've got extra money? For me, it's like, whenever there's money in my account, where can I go? So it's almost like it's part of what I have to do. It's not like something that's an incentive, or it's literally my life. I either travel or life is not it. So just what role does it play in your life? And
I completely agree with you. It's the same for me. Not even a reward or incentive. It's just lifestyle. It's life, you know. But what I love also is that it helps when planning a trip is so exciting.
I also love planning.
I love planning a trip and having that thing that you're looking forward to, like that's there. Like everything can be happening and life can go crazy, but you have that thing that it's not a reward, but it's just going to be a moment to indulge and to feed that ache, you know, to be somewhere.
For me, I always say, like, I spend all my money on it. It's that.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
So why not do it? Yeah. So when you think about traveling, and you mentioned that you love, you know, planning and having something to look forward to, do you actually plan the trip yourself, or do you make use of agencies? Because I love the process of searching for flights and searching for accommodation.
I love that. I've done that with agents before, and I know that I think in some places or with certain things, it removes some of the fuss, you know, because we would travel when I was just describing with my kids and my sister and her kid and all that. It's a lot of people. So sometimes you just want to hand it over to someone to work out the room logistics and how you're going to be configured. So some things I think it's always good to kind of outsource. And then other things, sometimes I want to dig in, I want to do the research, I want to see what that place is known for, and then build the itinerary. I'm that itinerary person, or then we should do this, then we should do that, then on day this, it's the best day to do that. So I love the research and really getting stuck in and having options, and almost like I don't want to say over planning, because I also love spontaneity. You have to leave a lot of room for.
Of course, yes. You can't be picking it up like,
be too rigid about it. So just enough, and then also room for whatever happens.
So earlier on, you spoke about having gone to London, lived there for 3 years. And you also recently were living in Switzerland. And I was like, because one of my quiet dreams is to live in another country. So when I saw you live that experience, I was like, oh my word, I was really like inspired. So I wanted to ask you just the reality of living in another country. I mean, you touched a bit earlier on when you talked about London. Because we romanticize it. We think it's going to be awesome. You're going to walk in there. You're going to be welcomed with, warm arms and so on. How was that experience in Switzerland particularly?
It felt like almost like a full circle moment, because I had hoped that the London thing, when I was younger, I was satisfied with the 3 years, no doubt. But the hope was maybe that it would be the way life would be in my early 20s, and then move to another location, live in another country straight after that and all that. But I had my daughter. So we came home. So it felt like being in Switzerland for those 2 years was like a full circle moment, you know, closing off that adventurer spirit of wanting to live in another country. And it was really wonderful and different at the same time, because this time around, there were luxuries of a really great job. So you could access and have experiences that maybe in London you would have to count the pennies, literally count the pennies to be able to do. So this time around, it was like, no, great circle of friends. If adventure calls, you go off and you do it. Yeah. I would say do it because it was a good break on the one hand from South Africa. And it was a nice little distance. Like, I'm loving you from far. I love you. I miss you.
Yes.
But for now, I want to do it from over here. I'll be back. I love you, but from far. So it was a nice break in that sense. And you get to also appreciate your own country and your own people so much more, which I think is also an incredible value about traveling. What you get out of traveling, a perspective of your reality in your country. You gain a different perspective because when you're in it and you're living the problems, that reality or that perspective can be distorted.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you go out of the country, you get to have some distance and you gain a better perspective. And I got to really appreciate the value for money that we get here. Switzerland is crazy expensive. Every time I did something, a conversion, for instance, I would want to cry. Yeah. Really expensive. Just to do my nail. I stopped doing my nails. I stopped doing my hair. I just let it grow. As in braids and the hairstyles that we do at home. I just left it out, let it grow and all that because it's crazy expensive, just those everyday things. Then there are other things where you see and admire how other societies have organized themselves. The safety. Switzerland is so safe. You could go out at night, catch public transport, walk at night, without feeling, you see a bunch of people approaching, you see men approaching, you don't feel that tension set in your body. You can leave your phone, walk away, come back, it'll be there. Your deliveries get made while you're at work and you find them there on your doorstep. So there's these trade-offs that you make when you live in another country, So our people are warm. People there are very... they have blinkers, the clappies on, and just keep to themselves. So bridging those kind of divides takes time. And so it can leave you feeling lonely, which is where the circles, the friendships really matter. Because you're not going to get that immediate, hey, come over for dinner, from a Swiss friend or colleague or whatever. But as you know, we all stick together. Africans stick together wherever we are. Yeah. But as far as travel is concerned, it's like it was so central. So it was a nice springboard to different places in Europe. So it makes a weekend to a small town in northern Italy, for instance, because the train system is so great, so much more possible. You leave on a Friday and you're back on a Monday and that's that. So these little hops are possible. So it made travel a lot more accessible. I love trains now. Love trains more than flying. It's like, why are we flying when we can take a scenic train
to the airport and wait?
But it was wonderful, really wonderful.
And when you left, you knew you were going to be there for 2 years, and that was it.
Yes, and I was there for work on a particular project for 2 years. So the first year, I was busy also with school, so I didn't have a lot of time. So once I got that out of the way, I was just like,
you could now take the trains.
Fill it up. Weekend, what? Let's go. So yeah.
And now you are back home. How do you feel about being back? Do you miss it?
I missed it, particularly in the second year. Like I was saying, I met people there who'd been, for instance, met a lady who'd been in Basel for 8 years and she still talked about and had a husband and a child. So she has a nuclear support system, nuclear family, but she still didn't feel rooted in the place,
Okay, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. So there's a certain longing, I think, that you have for home, and it's very hard to articulate. So when she said, I still don't feel rooted. It was like, that's it.
You understood.
You kind of understand that it's wonderful. It's great. You can comfort yourself with many things. You can find comfort in lots of things, But then at the same time, there is this void or this thing that just isn't filled, that is hard to fill or doesn't get filled. I met a South African lady who was married to a Swiss, and she'd lived there for like 25 years. They tried to come home at some point, and she felt not quite, comfortable with being home and more comfortable with being in Switzerland.
She'd been there for long also.
She'd been there long, but she still felt that home will always be home. So there was something to that. And it was nice to come back and have it again. Our warm people, our beautiful country.
Oh, we are happy you are here.
Yeah.
And we know you missed our weather.
I did. That I did. And last year I made sure that I went from a summer to a summer. Did not want to have
so that the
winter.
Transition is easy. Love it. So if someone like a woman is listening to us or watching us and feeling that they would love to travel, they haven't really been in, to another country outside of SA, and maybe explore living outside of SA. What advice would you give to someone who's has a bit of fear, but where do I even start?
I think you would go there in an organized fashion. And I think exploiting opportunities like work opportunities as the means of being in that place is the way to go. Yeah. Because so many of the other headaches are taken care of around visas, your stay, just that initial support to get you started. Those things just form part of your employment terms. So I would say if there's an opportunity, you work for a multinational that has an office somewhere else and there's a possibility to be mobile and move to another country, take it, because it's often a way of, it's an easier way of doing it instead of going there and saying, I'll find a job when I get there. No. So look for those kind of easy access means of being there. And then also reach out to people. You would be amazed at how welcoming people who'd been there for a while are in helping you discover and settle. For instance, I did that when I moved to Switzerland, and I fell into the warmest arms with some of the best women I'd ever met in my life, who I will always see as sisters. I mean, there was such a strong sisterhood that developed. So reach out to people. They will surprise you in their generosity, in their kindness, in a willingness to open their doors and help you find your feet. And then after that, just literally eat it up, devour it. It's waiting for you.
So, as a boa butiba Switzerland,
boa butiba thing.
Just asking for the girlies.
I didn't come back with one, so maybe that tells you something.
No,
I didn't
that
come
says
back
a lot.
One. No, not that they weren't. There was an interest or anything like that, but I think for me, I didn't want to have to educate people on what it's like to move through the world in a black skin. So to a large extent, it may be my own mental barriers, for instance, but people are not, they keep to themselves, and getting to know someone is a different process. And I think also maybe you are with having been to Italy so many times, but I wasn't really attuned to picking up the cues. This person likes me. Okay. I wasn't attuned to picking up those cues. And maybe it is about just the difference in culture and what you're accustomed to. How did you find it? Were you attuned to reading?
I get to.
Why do I feel like Lelo's got like a whole
life
over there?
A whole life. You know what? When I get when I get there to passport control, they're like, "Welcome home."
Yes.
Okay. No, I get that. Yeah, I will not go into details.
They're interested. They love their hikes. They love their cycling. So if you're active, you like that life, you can wake up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday to go cycling and kayak, swimming, whatever, then yes, go to Mel.
Okay. Okay, cool. So my last question is, if you could send your younger self anywhere in the world, having been to all the places that you've been to, knowing what you know now, and this younger self has never traveled anywhere, where would you send her? Little Aza.
Yeah.
Last born. Where are you sending her?
Oh my gosh, my mind is racing. I would probably send her to the East. I would send them to China, Japan, or South Korea. I would send them there.
Why?
Because I feel like it's a way of life that I personally am curious about. Also in the sense that we've had this, not tsunami per se, but this imposition of Western values and Western norms to the neglect perhaps of even African ways of life and even Eastern ways of life, you know. So it would be first, once you know your roots here, look to other parts of the world, like just look east for for that curiosity and to see how others that we are not so, whose ways are not shoved down our throats.
Because we don't really get to know and hear unless you go and, you know, you have interest in actually finding out. Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's what I would do.
So where to next?
Thinking of a trip to, I've always loved things that have to do with, how do they say it? Is it Genghis Khan? I used to say, but there's a way of saying, but Mongolia. I've loved Mongolian content. I love, I'm curious. There's a film called Mongol that's also obsessed me the same way that Streets of Marrakesh song has kind of taken hold in my mind. So there's a film called Mongol, which tells the story of the Khan. So I love how it was done, how it's told. I've watched it multiple times. So in my mind, I just see those plains, those rolling plains in Mongolia, the horses, just seeing people, the Mongol, people on the horses, riding the horses over those plains, and experiencing the culture. So it's on my list, but I keep pushing Japan and Iceland down, and they should be next. But yeah,
okay, I'm voting for Mongolia. If there's a vote,
to
be had. I mean, Japan also on my list. I would love to go. And South Korea as well. Like, so yeah.
Thanks to K-pop and thanks to K-dramas.
K-drama, go Netflix. See, they have us on a chokehold.
Listen, coming back with a gorgeous South Korean man.
With the beautiful skin. Oh my gosh. You'll tell us when you go so you can buy us the K-beauty stuff. Thank you so much. This was beautiful. I'm so glad and happy that you took the time to come and share about your experiences with us.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of your travels. So keep sharing.
It's difficult. I'm kind of moving away from sharing because there's something that is, the politics is starting to bother me. Yeah. And because we like spoiling so many places, it feels like maybe sharing is not the thing. Experience it. Before I came, I was looking through, just having a refresher. And I realized that the travels that I did before social media somehow hold a more sentimental part in, like a sentimental piece of my heart than the ones that I have online. And I was just questioning myself about that feeling. And I thought all those trips up and down the continent and that I don't quite have all those pictures for are just emblazoned differently in my memory. So I'm having a conflict about sharing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And posting.
And I also feel like there's a piece about being responsible.
Yeah.
So all this sharing and then everybody's rushing there because they saw it. I mean, what role are we playing in actually, you know, making it uncomfortable, even for the people who live there.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I keep going back to Italy, especially Rome, but whenever I'm in Rome, I've got this discomfort about, I wonder what the people who live here feel about us being, you know, all over the place. And it's just it's crazy just for us as tourists. But can you imagine for people who actually live there? What is it like for them? And we keep sharing and we keep posting and we want to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the discomfort.
So I'm asking myself those questions, like actually, why? What is the deep motivation? And if it's not a motivation that I'll be happy with in the end, then I'm like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. But also sometimes, we're not sharing because we want to show off, or you just, it's your Instagram. You just want to post something that you saw that was beautiful and you want to share it with the world. So yeah, it's a fine balance.
That's why I'm saying it's a conflict that's happening. And it's the album of your life. You know, we don't have the physical albums. So that's where we store our memories
I have
as a repository.
I have a terrible memory generally.
Mm-hmm.
So I love taking pictures because for me, I go back to those photos and they remind me of where I was, what I did with who, So that's why, that's my excuse.
No, yeah, I hear you, but just from the sentiment, the memories work in that way. But from the sentimentality place, it's like, I remember Benin and all those slavery, the monuments that they have set up to memorialize the slave trade that took place there, and the Gold Coast in Ghana, Gore Island in Senegal, and how they memorialized. Like, I remember that in my physical body, how I felt being there. But funny, the memories that I see on my Instagram, I don't feel
Just
them in the
not-
same way in my body, the way I felt
when you were
those
actually-
that I don't have reams and reams of pictures of. So
very interesting. Something to think about.
Something to think about. Still wrestling.
Yeah.
We wrestle on.
But thank you so much. I
This
really,
was
really had a
wonderful.
beautiful, beautiful time with you. I really appreciate you making the time.
Thank you, Lelo. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Azza, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.